What's going on, guys? This was a video that I was hoping would be a little bit differently to make, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Steelers losing to the Jets 24-20. And I'm going to be honest, this game was just kind of embarrassing. The Steelers in the first half did really, really bad. And then in the second half, they just looked slightly better, but, whatever. So let's start off with the stats. Starting off, we have Zach Wilson. He went 18 for 36, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And then Braxton Berrios had a pass for 2 yards and a touchdown, which was to Zach Wilson. And then rushing, they had Breece Hall with 17 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Michael Carter with 9 for 15, Zach Wilson 2 for 15, and Elijah Moore 1 for 2. Receiving, they have Corey Davis led their team with 5 receptions for 74 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Moore 3 for 53. Taylor Conklin, the tight end, 3 for 52. Garrett Wilson, 2 for 41. On the defensive side of the ball for Jets, we had CJ Mosley leading their team with tackles with 5. Michael Carter, the second, the cornerback, with 4 and an interception. DJ Reed with 4. There was also 2 interceptions for LaMarcus Joyner and 1 for Jordan Whitehead. Sauce Gardner had a tackle. 1 sack for Jermaine Johnson. 1 sack for Quentin Williams. And then 1 sack for Carl Lawson. And that was all the sacks. And now on the Steelers side of the ball, this is where things get just awful. In the first half, you had Mitch go 7 for 13 for 84 yards and an interception. And then Kenny Pickett, 10 for 13, 120 yards, and 3 interceptions. And 2 of the interceptions were not his fault. The last one, not his fault for sure. It was an arm punt to the end zone. And then the second one, he got the ball ripped from Chase Claypool. It got ripped from Chase Claypool's hands and was picked off. Rushing, we had Najee Harris, 18 for 74, which is, I think, pretty good. He averages 4.1 yards per carry with that. Jaylen Warren, 3 for 18. Kenny Pickett, 6 for 15 with 2 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson, 2 for 11. And then on the receiving side of the ball, this is where I had things very, very excited. George Pickens, 6 for 102. Thank God they got him involved. Oh my God. Pat Freiermuth, 7 for 85. Deontay, 2 for 11. Chase Claypool had 1 target, no catches, and the interception. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we had Devin Bush, 6 with 6 tackles. Minkah Fitzpatrick with an interception. Cameron Sutton with an interception. Minkah Fitzpatrick also had 5 tackles. Myles Jack had 5 tackles. And 1 sack on the day. That was by Alex Highsmith. And I'm going to be honest, overall, this team, this is the one game that I was thinking the Steelers could win. I was looking very, very hyped for them to win. I thought that the Jets aren't a bad team like people seem to think. I think the Jets could be a decent team, possibly a wild card contender, but I doubt it based on their offensive line being in shambles. And I'm just a little bit worried if they have Kenny Pickett start. Kenny Pickett looked very good other than those 3 picks. Again, 2 of them were not his fault, so I'll give only 1 interception is what I'm going to talk about the most. But overall, I'm not really excited for these next 4 weeks. Because the Steelers lost here and are currently 1-3, this team is probably going to be 1-6. Actually, 1-7 is more likely. And I feel like they're going to be the Dolphins from last year, where the Dolphins, if you guys remember correctly, beat the Patriots in week 1 and then lost 7 straight. And then I believe they went all the ways until they lost to the Titans. And I'm not, again, expecting the Steelers to make the playoffs. Nobody in their right mind should expect the Steelers to make the playoffs unless there's, like, some miracle that happens. But looking at their schedule, we have the Bills on Sunday. They're going to lose, most likely. The Bills put up an absolute clinic of a comeback against the Ravens, so unless by some miracle defense just decides that, hey, we're going to start sacking, which to give credit to the defense, who looked overall pretty good yesterday, but to give credit, the defense can't stop anyone if they're gassed. But let's just say we beat the Bills. Then we have the Buccaneers, who have recent weeks looked pretty bad, getting blown out yesterday by the Chiefs. Then the Dolphins on the 23rd, which is going to be a primetime destruction. Then the Eagles, whose defense looks fantastic right now. Then the Saints, who they look decent, but, they're also 1-3. They have a little bit of losses, or a little bit of defensive issues right now, and same with offensive issues with Jameis Winston being hurt. And then from there, I think the schedule is pretty simple. We have the Bengals on the 20th, Then the Colts, then the Falcons, then the Ravens come to Pittsburgh, then the Panthers, the Raiders, the Ravens on the first, and then we end with the Browns. And overall, I think that we could see this team probably have 7 wins. 8 wins is a possibility. I think that unfortunately, because we lost to the Jets from here, this team is most likely going to have a losing season under Mike Tomlin. I don't know if that means that the Steelers are going to fire Mike Tomlin. I hope they don't. I really, really like Mike Tomlin. I think Matt Canada needs to go, though. I've been very, very vocal about it on Twitter that Matt Canada needs to go. But yeah, I think looking at our next 4 games or 5 games with the Bills, the Bucks, the Dolphins, the Eagles, and the Saints. The Saints game is the only game I'm confident in. The Buccaneers, I have a little bit more confidence in, but I just feel like the offense is going to be too bad against that defense. And yeah, looking forward, I think that this team is probably going to be an 8-win team. I don't think we're going to have a top 5 pick unless we just have a complete explosion from here on out and we just decide that we don't want to play anymore. But to be fair, I'm not entirely sure that that would be the Steelers' offense's fault or the defense's fault. We had Ben retire, who kind of carried the team last year with an arm that was basically a noodle. And honestly, we probably had no business being in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned looking at the schedule for the rest of the time. And overall, I still think that we have a lot of flashes to see from Kenny Pickett, and I can't wait to see what happens. I hope he doesn't start on Sunday, even though he looked really good in his first technical start. He looked really good other than, some mistakes, but he is a rookie, and I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm very glad that we decided to get the run game going with him. His scrambling ability is amazing. I don't think he's like the Lamar Jackson of quarterbacks, but I think he's very comparable to, say, Russell Wilson or another very mobile quarterback. I think that overall we'll see him do very good. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video, guys. Take it easy.